The next step you're going to complete regardless of which handle you're using on your bag. If you're making the bag with bamboo handles or with fabric straps, the straps or the ribbon for the bamboo handles is attached to the bag at this point. If you're making the bag with leather handles, you don't have any straps attached to this point, but you're still going to go ahead and complete the next step. So what you want to do is take the bag band lining piece that we constructed earlier, and what you're going to do is have the folded edge down and the raw edge up, and you're just going to slide it over the top of the bag just like that, and it should fit just right on there. You're going to get your raw edges even, and then we're just going to come in here and we're going to pin it in place starting with the side seams. So after I've pinned those two side seams, I'm going to come in and pin the rest of the bag band lining to the bag band. And it should line up exactly, or really, really close. Close enough that you're not going to get puckers as you sew it. If for some reason it's not lining up, you need to pull off the bag band lining and adjust the seam allowance. You'll either need to take it out or pull it in, depending if it's bigger or smaller than your bag. And it is important that you go ahead and adjust that if it doesn't match up, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of puckers in the top of your bag. Okay, so we've got that pinned, so we're going to go over to our sewing machine. This is another step that I think it's really helpful to have the arm of the machine off. We'll bring our pins over, and we're going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm just going to stitch around just like we did before. And then this gets pulled up like this. And at this point, I like to bring it to the iron and press it just so you get a really crisp seam right there. All right, and then this gets folded in like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to press this again to get it in place. Now, at this point in the bag construction, you have a choice if you want to top stitch this seam. It's totally up to you. If you have the larger, you have the fabric handles like this sewn on, there'll be a little more bulk in that seam, so it may be a little harder to top stitch over it. It's just decorative, and it's up to you if you want to go ahead and do that. I do think it looks a little bit nicer to have it top stitched. Okay, so once you've got this all the way around, then what I like to do is I like to use binding clips for this part if you are going to go ahead and top stitch. If you're going to put the leather handles on the bag and you want to top stitch the seam, you need to do it now, because after you get the leather handles on, they'll be in the way, so you won't be able to get to the seam anymore. And the binding clips, pretty much all they're doing is just holding that seam flat as we go around on the machine. And again, you're gonna have to be careful to watch as you sew that you don't get too close to that magnetic snap. Okay, then I'm gonna come over here and I am gonna go ahead and top stitch this one. Then just come over and double check that it's flat. And then if it's flat, we just have a couple more steps left to finish our bag.